Spielberg and Mary Ross went to Echo Schwartz and saw this piano that did.
Walt Disney Studios out of Burbank, California. I'll be your guide for part one of the United States tour. Here's the man who will work up. He's going to steer a course that will take us behind the scenes of our working production center. And if you take a look over to your right as we pull around this corner, you'll see the back of our animation building. Inside, animators are working on Roller Coaster Rabbit, the new Roger Rabbit.
And you're going to see our animation building. Now, I know it doesn't look like much from this end, but inside, Disney animators are currently working on Roller Coaster Rabbit. It's a new Roger Rabbit cartoon to be released early this year. And this is a great opportunity for me to check on everyone in the back. Hi, everyone. The only chance I get to see everyone is when we turn corners. Give your driver a wave, too. Now, the Disney MGM Studios features sound stages, outdoor sets, state-of-the-art editing and sound studios, just about everything you need to produce a film or television show. Now, while on board, we're going to be able to see all of these areas, and we might even be able to catch a production crew at work. Which reminds me, you can shoot as much film and video as you'd like on the first portion of the tour, except in certain restricted areas. I'll let you know if we hit any of those, so feel free to just shoot away. If you've got those cameras ready, here's your first big photo opportunity. Take a look off to your right, high in the sky. And that's the symbol of the Disney MGM Studios. It's our award-winning Earful Tower. Now it stands 13 stories tall and is capped off with a set of mouse ears weighing in at 16 tons. What do you get? Well, you get a hat size of 342 and 3/8. You gotta see the videos so you get to clean that thing. As we turn on to Mickey Avenue, you'll see our prop warehouse. That black classic car with the green spokes was used in The Untouchables starring Sean Connery and Kevin Costner. Now over to your left are our bungalows. Now bungalow is just a fancy name for office space, and they house our production teams that are currently at work here at the studios. Now Bungalow 3 is the permanent home to the Mickey Mouse Club, which airs every Monday through Friday at 5:30 on the Disney Channel.
Oh, did she? Yeah. You said it was a kid? Yes. Oh.
Now Fred's turning it into a branch of our greens department. This is where we store plants, trees, and shrubs until they're needed for a set. Now greenery is often used to hide what the camera's not supposed to see. For example, we could use a row of these tall trees to hide the fact that only a small portion of the set was actually built. Now all of our plants are grown in small portable boxes so they can be easily transported onto a set when they're needed. But what if we needed an entire forest? Well, our set designers have access to over 60,000 different types of trees here at the Walt Disney Tree Farm. And if they're ever needed on a soundstage, then we have to carefully fireproof each branch, twig, and leaf before we can use them. Now, we even have our own Catastrophe Canyon back here. These topiaries can take up to 10 years to develop. Now, Elliot the Dragon here, for example, he's been sprouting his wings since 1981. Still not quite ready for display yet. Now we're going to move on to one of our more glamorous departments. It's creative costuming. But before we do that, take a look off to your left. You'll get a sneak peek at Soundstage 3, which is the home of the Mickey Mouse Club. You get to see more of the Mickey Mouse Club on part 2 of your backstage tour. For our television, film, and entertainment needs. Now, as we make our way through this department in our display cases, you're going to be able to see original costumes worn by Bette Midler in Big Business, Warren Beatty in the current production of Dick Tracy, Julie Andrews in the 25-year-old dress from the classic Mary Poppins, Michael Jackson and Captain EO, and a few of the co-stars from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And for those of you in the back of the shuttle, we've slowed down so everyone can have a good view, so keep your eyes open for displays coming up on your left. Now, it all starts with the designer sketches and some you can see on that far wall. Then our seamstresses and tailors take over, and they can use up to 175,000 yards of fabric each year. Now, we're quite proud to say that here in Orlando, we have the world's largest working wardrobe with over 2.5 million garments. That is enough power to light up the entire city of Orlando. And coming up ahead, you're going to see our small props department. Now, our props can come from any place, such as an antique shop, garage sale, flea market, and if we can't find it, well, then we build it. And looks like a well-known rabbit was in a little bit of a hurry to get out of our props department there. Next is our camera department, where technicians maintain and store equipment used on and off the lot. And last but certainly not least is our Scenic Scenic Shop, where carpenters begin construction on sets that are later completed on a soundstage. Now, these talented artisans have built everything from a 40-foot submarine used for a Jason Bonham rock video to the giant turntable on the Mickey Mouse Club. Move in. Might want to take another look at all of our homes. But they're all just facades. They're empty shells. But it doesn't matter if our homes are a little drafty, because here on a backlot, we can even control the weather. Now take this first house on your right, for example. We used it for a winter holiday scene for an Isotoner glove commercial that was out this Christmas season. Now we trimmed the house with colored lights, brought in a few pine trees, even laid down some man-made snow. And the result was a white Christmas in the middle of July under sunny Florida skies. Anybody recognize Herbie the Love Bug there, old 53? And that's Midwestern style house, and he's parked in front. It was used in the touchstone comedy Ernest Saves Christmas starring Jim Varney. Know what I mean? Now, if you are a Saturday evening TV buff like I am, you're going to recognize this beige house coming up to your left. That's it. It's the home of B. Arthur, Betty White, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty, the Emmy Award-winning Golden Girls. Now, if you wonder why you never see them wandering around the front of their house, that's because only the exterior footage is shot out here, and then it's later edited together with interior footage shot on a soundstage out in California for the completed show you see every Saturday night. Little doghouse, frisbee on the roof, some plants around the door. You know, I think it needs a swing set, but that's located across the street in our backlot playground. Hey, Fred, there's your pail and shovel you left out there the other day. Now, coming up to the end of Residential Street is our backlot church. Now, it was designed with plain flatboard sides, simple windows, and wooden shingles. Architectural details that give it that small town setting. But when we make our way around the corner, notice how our small town setting miraculously turns into a big city cathedral. Fred Holt. Now, as we turn the corner here, you're going to get to see one of our 4 boneyards. Now, a boneyard isn't where we store old bones, but this is where we store planes, trains, automobiles, even spaceships until they're needed for another production. Now, you might recognize some of the things we have out here. For those of you who watch the Disney Channel, you might recognize a convertible we've used in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As you can tell, they let Roger drive. Up ahead, we have the original Snowspeeder piloted by Mark Hamill in The Empire Strikes Back. This sand skip here helps Harrison Ford and Billy D. Williams escape the sand pit monster in Return of the Jedi. Now, this funny-looking silver space pod was used in a Disney film called Flight of the Navigator. And up ahead, this old wooden keelboat was used in another Disney film called Trenches of Montecumbe starring Peter Ustinov. Now, portions of that were filmed out on our Bay Lake behind our contemporary resort long before the studios was even built. In fact, to give you an idea of how long we hold on to some of these props, that was filmed back in 1976. Now, as you can see, our props do come in many different shapes and sizes, but there is a difference between a prop and a set dressing. Now, anything that an actor holds onto or physically uses is known as a prop. Everything else on the set is just a dressing. Now, as you pass by our small yacht club here, take a look across the canal. You're going to get a backstage view of all our homes on Residential Street. Not a lot of privacy in this little community here. That's because we only build what the camera needs to see. I think they know something that we don't. I guess we're going to go check it out. You know, what if the camera needed to see something that wasn't there? Let's say we needed an environment that you couldn't find here in Central Florida. I mean, where in Central Florida are you going to find an active oil field in a dry, rocky, barren desert canyon? Well, a few months ago, a production crew needed such a set for an upcoming film called Catastrophe Canyon. Now, normally we wouldn't be allowed on a set like this because the special effects to be used are a little bit too dangerous. But they did decide to keep some of the special effects that aren't as dangerous and let this be a permanent part of our tour. I think that's what they were so excited about. Let's take a look and see how exciting this set is. Again, I do need to remind everyone, please remain seated while we're in the canyon. We are going to drive over a wood bridge and it gets a little bumpy. Place to stop. Now you can take as many photographs of this canyon as you like, but again, folks, I do need for everyone to please remain seated. please. I need you to remain fully seated, please. The young boy in the third car, please remain seated. Oh, I didn't think they were working on the set today, but what you're seeing right here is a rain effect created by high-powered rain cells located right up above the canyon that's slightly out of camera due to rain. You know, since time is money in movie making, they can't wait around for... Wait, guys. Your best camera angle of the skyscrapers located at the end of New York Street. Now we're going to pass in front of it twice, so if you missed the photo opportunity the first time, you get a second chance. And notice how our skyscrapers look from this distance. And as we make our way down New York Street around the corner, watch how the perspective changes. They're all just made out of styrofoam, fiberglass, a steel structure, and a very thin layer of cement for texture. And they're all hand-painted and aged to make them look like they've been around here for decades.
Backlot, we're getting rain. Space Mountain!